Young people are allowed to be sore and slash or have body pain. I'm 18 and I work a physically demanding job to which I work 6 days a week and 11 to 12-hour days. I'm constantly hauling stuff from one end of the yard to another or running around and delivering lumber or metal to certain people in the yard. Every time I tell a coworker or my boss that I can't do something because my back will give out and slash or my knees will, as I have past injuries with both, I get a sarcastic I'm insert any middle age here years old and I can do it, or stop being lazy you can do it. Injuries can happen to anyone and it just aggravates me that people use their age as a way to make you feel bad about your own capabilities. That is pretty shitty for them to dismiss your injuries or inabilities as but I can. They have their limitations too. With that said, however, it's mostly hopefully banter that is not actually them not respecting you so much as them just not being as funny as they think. You're right, young people can be sore, and sometimes need to take it easy to avoid further injury. Having said that, if you're under 20 and your back might give out on you at your physically demanding job, you need a new line of work. I'm 34 and also have a physically demanding job. I've learned that most of the older guys that complain about hurting all the time, are nursing some injury from when they were young. Back injuries don't go away, they linger for your whole life. Let me add that you're allowed to be young and free of children, but still sore, in pain, or tired. I got spinal arthritis when I was 10 and literally every waking moment for me is pain. It's sometimes better than other times but my body is so screwed and my dad gets mad at me for being in pain when it's at its worst moments. Completely agree. I want to sit down on the bus/train sometimes. I don't want to be obliged to stand up for an elderly because I literally just finished running a marathon/hiking/stood for 5 hours straight. Young is not invincible. Dude, those people are dumb AF. I have worked in industrial environments for years with a lot of very smart guys. Only the idiots try to accomplish everything with brute force. The guys that go around telling you to keep working like a dog will be incapacitated later in life. If they ever get a chance to retire, it will be miserable. It always catches up to you. My cousin is 15 and she has early onset arthritis, or something along those lines. She gets constant pains in her fingers and wrists, and her grandparents won't stop saying you're too young to have arthritis. Stop complaining. It's infuriating. What's funny is when my parents tell me about the things they used to be able to do when they were young, meanwhile I'm young and can't do any of those things. You really don't want to mess up your back at a young age. A guy I knew a guy who fucked up his back at 35 lifting something at a construction site and whose back was pretty much done from that point forth. I have a syndrome that causes me chronic pain. It took almost a year for doctors to diagnose me because I was 14 at the time and they didn't think I could be in so much pain because I was so young. They just assumed it was something I was doing for attention or some kind of psychological issue, even though I literally had a perfect life, great family, many friends, good at school and sports, etc. Luckily my parents knew me and that I would never do something like that, and I was finally diagnosed 10 months later with CRPS. As a kid I always had joint/back/neck/joint/body pain in general, and every time I would go to the doctor, you know what they said? It's growing pains. I think I was just constantly dehydrated and generally unhealthy. I also had chronic cluster migraines among other issues. The problem is that a lot of young people these days have preventable pain from things such as poor posture, poor diet, lack of exercise, insufficient sleep, etc. The meme of the zombie apocalypse is 2010 tier, but it really does feel that way when I see people my age hunched over their mobile phones or slouching so badly that it looks like they're melting into the seat. It's literally impossible for me to make any sort of physical complaint without one of my parents going, "Oh come on, you're fine. You're young." I have had chronic joint pain since I was 11. Anyone can have pain, and if you disagree, get over yourself. Well, the thing is, you still have to do your job. Hey man, I know it's not my place to say this, but get out of there. You're too young to be ruining your body on a labor job. Get an education and get a comfortable desk job, or at least get a job that doesn't make you worried about your back or knees going out. I did both, and even though desk jobs have their downsides, they're infinitely better than hard labor jobs in my opinion. Obviously I don't know the full context of your workplace or if your dad's the owner or not, etc. But 6 days 11 plus hours at low manual labor rates is a waste of your precious youth. Scoliosis is a bitch in it. This is also a huge problem in the military. Some Joe will complain about his back and then supervisors will dismiss it and said Joe will continue with his duties 6 months later he decides fuck it and go to the doctor. Doctor says if they came earlier they could have prevented a serious injury. My knee gave out for the first time when I was 17. I was getting out of a hot tub and heard a pop. Cue the shooting pain. To this day, I have chronic pain in both of them and need help getting up from a squatting position sometimes. There is also this lovely audible crunch whenever I bend them. I'm only 22 and I have the knees of a 60-year-old. It's hereditary. My cousin needed knee surgery by my age. Don't discount people's pain, y'all. You don't know what's up.